He wasn't born with power or privilege. He didn't dream of becoming famous. He just wanted to make information, the world's knowledge, open to everyone. As a child, he was curious about everything. He loved to build things, to understand how machines worked, and to ask questions no one else bothered to ask. While other kids were playing, he would sit with an old computer, typing lines of code that barely worked. He wasn't chasing money, he was chasing understanding. Years later, when he entered university, he found himself surrounded by bright minds. But he noticed something strange. Even with all this intelligence around him, the world's information was still scattered and messy. He thought, why can't we find things online as easily as we think of them? That one question changed everything. He began to work on an idea, a way to organize the chaos of the internet. Not to control it, but to make it useful. Not to own knowledge, but to share it. He worked in a small dorm room with an old computer that overheated after a few hours. He barely slept. He didn't have funding, or a business plan, or a roadmap. Just a belief that technology should serve people, not the other way around. At first, no one cared. People said, it's impossible. The internet was too big, too complex, too unorganized. But he kept building. He didn't see himself as a genius. He saw himself as a builder, a problem solver for humanity. With every line of code, he imagined a world where anyone, anywhere, could learn, discover, and connect in seconds. He partnered with a friend who shared his passion. Together, they spent nights debugging errors, arguing about algorithms, and dreaming of making the internet simple for everyone. Their first version was ugly. The interface, plain. The design, unremarkable. But it worked. It worked better than anyone expected. People started using it quietly at first, then thousands, then millions, and before long, their ideas spread across the planet, turning the chaos of the web into something beautifully simple. But even as their project grew into something massive, he never lost sight of the why. He once said, don't just build a company, build something that matters. That's what he lived by. He didn't want technology to be about competition. He wanted it to be about contribution. And that mindset, that belief in usefulness, became the foundation for everything that followed. He built a workplace unlike any other, a place filled with curiosity, creativity, and constant learning. He encouraged people to dream 10 times bigger than normal, to question everything, and to see failure not as the end, but as a test of courage. Because for him, the goal wasn't to make money. Money was only a byproduct of impact. He believed that if you help enough people, the rewards will follow naturally. And they did. His creation transformed how we learn, work, and connect. It gave every person on Earth a doorway to knowledge, no matter their background or wealth. The world became smaller, smarter, and infinitely more connected, all because one engineer in a tiny room refused to accept that good enough was good enough. He taught us that real innovation doesn't start with money. It starts with a question and the courage to chase the answer. He proved that simplicity is the ultimate sophistication and that technology's true purpose is to bring people closer, not further apart. So when you open your browser, search for something new or learn from someone across the world, remember that it all began with one man's quiet belief, that the internet should be simple and that the best ideas in the world don't shout, they serve. Don't build to impress, build to improve. That's the real power of creation. That's the sweet side of money.